Hi there, it's Ange. So today on my vlog, I wanted to do it as a documentary review about the four blood moons. It's a documentary on Netflix that you can see that was recently released for the year 2015. And it's about a mixture of bringing in history, science, and scripture into one and explaining it to people how prophecy and scripture actually has now scientific and historical evidence to prove how it all integrates together. So it's quite mind blowing, and I do recommend to watch it. But today I wanted to do a little bit of my commentary and review about this because I felt very guided and inspired to share this knowledge and wisdom that I have received from watching this documentary and through my own experiences this past year. And I made a few notes about what I wanted to discuss today and how these experiences come through me. And it's more about of an intuitive knowing through my own events and my own experiences and how these translate and relate to the events that are happening in 2015 as discussed by the documentary and a lot of gurus and a lot of people out there right now. Lots of astrologers and all that. So the first is really about the term the Shemitah year. It's a Jewish religious holiday that every 7 years, a Shemitah year, is a time for rest and to stop working and to really connect yourself with your spiritual side, whatever your religious denominational path may be. But it's really a time of connecting you with your higher source or God or whatever you call it. And for me, through my own life experience, that's exactly what happened to me. I was on EI, employment insurance benefits, and it was a time that I really used to self-reflect and to develop my own spirituality that was the best for me to understand. And this developed my intuition a lot. And it was a way for me to fully trust and accept life as it is, surrender, and let go and let God, basically, as they say. I do apologize for the noisy leaves. My dog is running around. I'm in the park with him today. Anyway, so the Shemitah year is all about that connection and really developing that connection. And so I felt almost like the universe prevented me almost from working. I couldn't find a job for several months, and if I did have a job, it was a short contract that ended very quickly. And each time, the lesson that I learned was that, oh, it's time for me to self-reflect again, to develop my intuition, to develop my guidance and my trust and faith in a higher power, or whatever your denominational belief is. The second point of the Shemitah year, which is very fascinating to me, it's about forgiving debts. Forgiving anyone of any debts that they incur to you or that have been incurred on you. So it's really an interesting perspective about somebody's financial life as well. I'm not going to get into the personal side of how that affected me, but it's also affected me in that way. And the last is about bringing more joy, happiness, and truth. This is what the documentary kind of explains, but this is what the energy, I feel, really explains about how the four blood moons, which just ended this September 2015, the last of the four blood moons, and this energy wave that I felt was really about embracing truth. Truth in a very universal, in a very high level, and I sense this because of my own experiences and events that happened to me during this time, and this is how I tap into this energy. And it kind of confirms astrology sometimes, so it's not really a predictive capacity, but it's more of a self-reflective behavior, which we look and self-reflect how events are changing in our lives, and we tune into our feelings and emotions about them, and we observe from an outsider kind of view our own lives, how they're playing out, and that's how we tap into the energy. And I think this is the last thing, this universal truth of guidance, above tapping into our intuition, is really trying to be revealed in 2015. This is what 2015 is about developing our intuition and honoring it. So if we look at moon cycles, for example, there's a lot of spiritual religious beliefs that, want to dissuade moon cycles as being a form of label of witchcraft or prophecies or magies. And, astrologers are wrong, there's witches, and all these crazy ideas about those kind of people. And I think it's all fear-based, it's all ego, and it needs to be released. And I think this is what the energy is bringing. It's bringing us that new truth to develop our perspective, to be more encompassing and accepting of others, and to realize that some of these universal processes that have come to be right now, just like the four blood moons, might change the way we look at religious people or witches, or the negative connotations we've attached to a lot of people as a result of that. And it's really a time of just having a tabula rasa, basically a clear paper without any prejudices or anything on the paper about an individual or about a situation or a group of people, and just letting you look from things from a completely new perspective. So, and the final point, how can we actually develop new perspectives? What do we need to do to enhance our intuition and honor it and accept it? And how we can better move along with this energy and align ourselves with this energy? And what it wants us to do is to harmonize our masculine and feminine sides. So not only on an individual level, but also on a macro level within our communities, within our organizations, within our social structures, medical systems, doesn't matter where you look at it. So we're going to come up with a lot of these challenges, and they're going to ask us to balance our masculine and feminine. So feminine, I mean by intuition, compassion, surrendering, accepting, flowing, gentleness.
Hey, Rudy, you be quiet.
Sorry about that.
Rudy, hey! Hey!
Sorry there, I got a little cut off. But as I was saying, it's really a time for us to balance both our masculine and feminine qualities. So to embrace them, not only as we self-reflect within ourselves as individuals, within our own relationships, but also on a macro level, like how our social systems are actually being structured. That's why gender policy is so huge right now, and why women's rights and all these types of marketing activities are going on, because it's trying to neutralize this feminine and masculine energy. And by feminine, I mean intuition, compassion, surrender, acceptance, flow, gentleness, sensitivity, emotions, love, nurture, communal, spiritual. All those things need to now be honored. That's what the energy is asking us to do, and that's the way we're going to be able to balance that with the masculine energy that has been around for several years. But now it's a time for us to kind of blend them.